Here we go.
Hey.
Here we go.
Hey.
Here we go.
Hey.
Here we go. Here we go with a very good friend of mine. Born in El Paso, Texas, she was raised in a Catholic household with her mom and her younger siblings. She received a bachelor's degree in biology from University of North Texas and now works as a microbiology lab assistant. Her next career achievement is becoming a sonographer. When she's not using her scientific brain, she's expressing her crafty side through drawings, making beautiful gift baskets, and planning social events amongst her many friends. Hi, Liliana.
Hi. I love that introduction.
You're welcome.
Very accurate.
Yeah. I try to be as accurate with my intros as much as I can, or I try to do some research, but it was very hard, honestly, considering you don't have a very good social media presence. But I guess that works out, which helps you be
more
the
present.
social, more present in your personal life and whatever you do. Yeah, so
That's true.
That's cool.
I like to celebrate people.
That's cool. How are you?
Good. It's a nice Saturday morning. I slept in.
It's good. Yeah, you
The
were
weather's
early.
better than last night.
Oh yeah, it's way better. It's warmer. It was so cold last night.
40?
Yeah, 40, 30 degrees. Yeah, I think the low was 30 degrees. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it's so good. My grandmother, she actually called me. She was like, "Yeah, I'm just sitting in the car right now, cause I'm just looking at the weather. it's so nice.
Waiting
yeah,
for it to change.
Right? Just hoping it doesn't change, right? Yeah, but it's so nice. No clouds in the sky and everything.
No.
So what we usually start off with my guests is an icebreaker.
Okay.
Help us loosen up a little
deal.
bit, get ready for talk and move our body a little bit. So one of the first icebreakers that I have is, what's your favorite song at the moment? And you can sing it, you can hum it, you can whistle it, you can make the beat of it. Just
Okay.
You have to sing a song though.
Let me warm up.
What is it? So loud.
Do, re, mi,
Yeah,
fa,
fa, sol,
sol.
la, ti, do.
Okay. Only because I listened to it on the way here and I realized, man, this song has been on replay recently, at least this week. The song "Walking in the Sun" by Smash Mouth.
Oh, how does it go?
So don't delay, act now. Do, 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 do.
I don't know if I
don't give it justice.
I don't think I only know one song by Smash Mouth by that, and that's the Somebody.
Oh yeah, that's one of
Once
them. No, this one's called "Walking in the Sun." Okay, the lyrics that stand out to me the most is so don't delay, act now. It's okay, I gotta do what I gotta do.
Yeah, do what you gotta do before you can't do it.
So that's been the song on replay recently.
Nice. That's cool. So I had to look that one up. I'm not familiar
I'll
with
send it to
it.
you.
Yeah. The song that I've been having on replay, because I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately, and music right now for me is not nothing has stand out. I'm whoa, this is different than what's out there right now. But one song that stand out for sure is Hours and Hours by Mooney Long. It's a R&B sound. But
How does it go? Your turn to sing.
put you on the spot. It's yours, mine's, ours. I can do this for hours. Sit and talk to you for hours. I want to give you your flowers. And then my favorite part is her voice get really, really, really deep. And she's like, you give me your superpower.
Whoa,
it gets really
different
deep.
vocal ranges.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it ranges a lot. She has a really nice voice
Hours,
too.
it's called?
Yeah, Hours and Hours, but it's not spelled it's missing the OU in each part. So it's HRS and HRS.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to look it up.
Yeah. I'll send it to
It's
you
like a
too.
Valentine's theme song.
Yeah, it is.
I'll give you your flowers.
Yeah, it's overall in some intimacy too, with that too. But it's a nice song.
Okay.
Another icebreaker that we have is tell your most memorable customer service story. Ooh. Whether you're the customer and someone is providing the customer service to you, or vice versa, you're the person providing the customer service to somebody else.
Oh, it could be either or.
Yeah, either
okay.
or. And it could be it was a pleasant experience. It was a weird encounter. It was it got very heated. Whatever you can remember.
Maybe because it happened last night.
Oh no.
Maybe most recent. It was a good positive experience, and I was, I guess, the customer in this scenario. We went out to an outdoor bar, and there's this drunk guy who approached us. It was me at the time and 3 other ladies. And the guy approaches and sat next to the person across from me, and she was smart enough to stand up and like get the bouncer to come help us. And like I just loved how attentive he was. He came around like with a like under the reason of like picking up our drinks. He's like, "Oh, is everything okay, ladies?" And then, but I like that. Like he came, he was like very quickly came, and I'm like, "Wow, that's good service."
Yeah,
he's doing his bouncer duties.
He was just paying attention to everybody
the
around
surrounding,
and like
like
you
I felt
said,
safe. I was like, okay,
that's cool.
That was a good experience as a customer.
In
that moment. Yeah,
as a customer, that's awesome. I can't really like think of any for me. Like I kind of blocked out all like bad experiences or weird encounters, and also like I kind of said like a lot of my stories already, so I can't like really think of any that happened most recently. But yeah, I feel like everybody has some sort of like customer service story.
Especially I think being like Americans, like we're used to being the consumers.
Yes.
Or I mean, perhaps me as well. I'm more hypersensitive to it because I've worked customer service jobs all of my life, all of my jobs. So I noticed that, like, I guess when I go to coffee shops, I'm like, are they attentive to my needs? Like, okay, I'm eco-friendly, so like sometimes I dine in at a coffee shop to have them give me a mug. I don't want plastic. So then like I request it, and they're like, oh yeah, of course. Only if you request it. Sometimes nowadays you have to request it, and then they'll give you the mug.
Okay.
That's so cool. Like I like when they're attentive to that. They're like, oh yes, of course, we'll give you a mug.
Nice.
So
yeah, that's cool. I never thought about it. I just take whatever that service gives me, or like that like building or that business gives me, or like I know where to go where I'll get like the best like customer care that I would get. I don't think about like demanding that.
I really
like,
request.
Yeah. That's cool. So yeah, let's go into your background, like where you grew up at, how I was growing up, where you grew up. How many are you like? Yeah, I mentioned like you have other siblings. How many siblings you have? And
okay.
All that jazz.
West Philadelphia. Born and raised. I had to say that. Okay, yeah. So I was born in El Paso. I think we lived there.
I didn't know. I don't know why I thought you
thought it was
grew
Corpus
up
Christi,
in Corpus
right?
Christi. Yeah,
maybe because it's a border. I know Texas
maybe.
border. I don't. How long did I live there? I think until first grade, and then we moved to Pecos, which is like that? 3 hours east of El Paso.
Oh, okay.
It's a small town, and they're known for their melon crops.
Oh,
so there's a lot of like people who come there seasonally. But my parents moved there because they started working there at the jail. So there's also a jail there.
Oh, wow.
Or prison. I don't know the difference. But and then we moved away after third grade and moved back to El Paso for 1 year. I did fourth grade there. And then that's when we moved to Austin. I did fifth grade and then moved to Round Rock, sixth grade onward.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah, I think I went to like 5 elementary schools. So like I have 0 childhood friends, but no, I probably just talked to like 2 high school friends. But yeah, I did get more consistency where I lived after moving to Round Rock from 6th grade onward.
Well, that's cool.
But I still call El Paso my home.
Really?
My dad still lives there.
Nice.
The scenery is ugly because it is dry heat. It's not like humid heat like Austin is.
I've been to the farthest west that I like stayed for a long period of time was Alpine and Marfa, like that whole area, and it's super dry. Like I feel like I had to apply lotion like every 2 hours. How dry
the heat is different. Like you get in your car and the buckle of your car is so hot.
Yeah.
Like it's dry heat.
Oh my God.
But I mean, I have good memories. I had a good childhood. I had uncles and my grandma who lived in Ciudad Juarez across the border. So we like cross by car weekends, celebrate birthdays there, had piñatas in the backyard.
Awesome.
So yeah, I think I had a good childhood and also living like that Mexican American life and that dichotomy.
You're to keep your culture
Yes.
and your identity in a way.
Yeah, I feel lucky to have been raised in El Paso. Like maybe because I'm the oldest as well, but other friends were raised, other Mexican American friends who were raised more inland, didn't grasp that Spanish as much as I did, perhaps because of living close to the border, right? Like I notice now as an adult going back, like people at the store just automatically talk to you in Spanish.
Really?
Like you come in like, hi, good, like, oh, hola, buenos días, like, oh, hi, hello, oh, hola, bienvenido.
Yeah.
And I realized like they automatically assume that everyone walking through that door speaks Spanish. So I found that interesting. Like, maybe that did affect me more than I realized. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, you mentioned like going to 5 different elementary schools, and then that includes like middle school too.
No, because I started middle school in Round Rock, so I did 6th, 7th,
What middle school did you go to?
Hopewell Middle School.
Hopewell.
It was named after the first African American school in Texas.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Like Hopewell. Hopewell.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Did you like middle school? Did you enjoy middle school?
I think so. I mean, I consider myself a friendly person. And I'm grateful that I never had like huge self-esteem issues.
Yeah.
It's like, or I was never bullied, perhaps. I mean, I think I had good friends. I was involved in art, which explains perhaps my craftiness nowadays.
Do you have some more your old like middle school art?
Yeah, I do. I have this canvas. It's pretty large, like 2 feet by 2 feet.
Oh wow.
We had it displayed in our living room for the longest time, but we took it down because it's like a frog, and we were working on pointillism, so it's like a painting all by little points.
Oh, whoa!
And I'll send you a picture.
Whoa!
It's one of my favorites.
How long did it take you?
A long time. That's why I'm so proud of it.
That's why it was on the wall for so long.
I remember having to come after school to finish that thing project. All of our classmates, we were in advanced art, I think. In 8th grade. I think I probably did it in 8th grade. Whoa. But that took forever. I'm like, I'm not getting rid of this.
No, not at all. That's awesome, though.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Were you artistic in high school, too? What high school did you go to?
I went to Stony Point.
Stony Point?
Yes, go Tigers. I think it's one of 4 schools, or now probably more. 5 schools in Round Rock. Wow. What did I do? Yeah, I continued art. I think I dedicated myself more to academics.
In high school?
Did I? I don't think I did art that much. Probably the first year, I do remember. In the 9th grade center being in art. So our school had like, when I started 9th grade, there was like the 9th grade center, and then you had to walk further to get to the main campus. And I would have to go to the main campus to go to my Spanish class. But then after I finished 9th grade, they closed the 9th grade center, and the main campus became all 4 grades. Okay. And then the 9th grade center went back to being a middle school. So it went back and forth to being middle school, 9th grade center, and middle school.
Oh, wow.
So now it's, I think, Hernandez Middle School.
Yeah. Nice. You were also like very good at dancing.
You think
too?
So?
I think so.
Oh, thank you. I've always wanted to be part of a dance
rhythm
group.
And like a lot of the music, it has like a lot of like rhythmic, like I can imagine like dancing to a lot of the music that you listen to. Do you consider yourself like more of a dancer?
I love party. I love dancing at parties. Like weddings, the reception dancing part is always my favorite part. I'm like, like you judge things according to what you know, and I'm like, wow, they could have done better with the dancing or with the DJ or the selection,
for sure,
reading the crowd, etc. But yeah, I do look forward to that side. I guess in college I really got into country dancing. So like freshman year I was part of swing dance. And so, like, you integrate a lot of the spins in swing dance and country dancing. Yeah. Like the pretzel and
the intricate, like...
tricks, or I guess you can call them. So that's where perhaps I really started enjoying even more, like, couple dancing. So since then, like, that's one of my hobbies. If people were to ask me, what's your hobby? It would be, like, go country dancing. Oh, like, I just love that aspect of, like, working together to create something. Yeah, achieve. Yeah. That's cool. It's so fun. Take me back.
And did you say you focused more on your academics in high school? Like what topics were you interested in? Like what was your favorite like high school class?
I guess biology, because I had a good teacher, Miss K. She explained things well. She was funny. She made songs, like we talked about it. Like if you add songs to something, it helps you remember it better, right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
The Magic School Bus did this, Bill Nye. Yeah, I really enjoyed her class. And then senior year, we had a really small class because it was like more advanced. I think we had like 6 classmates. So I really enjoyed that one-on-one time, teacher to student. we had, and perhaps that also influenced all of us. I think that I know of, at least 4 of us continued with like science-based bachelors. Yeah, it's interesting how much a teacher can influence you positively or negatively, right? Yeah.
No, like I remember like I did so well with most of my math and science classes because I had really good teachers that like you said, like passionate. Passionate about what they were teaching, and also like gave us like a lot of really good tips on how to remember all these very complex things or very complex concepts and formulas to understand the information that we've been given. Like Dr. Desai and Dr. Lau.
Oh yeah, you remember?
Really good. Oh yeah, I remember.
They were doctors. Wow.
Yeah. They were really good with their.
It's a gift, right, to be able to teach well.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. Shout out to all the teachers.
Shout out to you, teachers.
We appreciate you.
You can do it.
You can
don't give up.
Right.
You make a
Please
difference.
Don't, we need you.
We need you. America needs
now.
you.
Right. And then like so do you have any friends from high school?
Yes. Like I said, I think I talked to 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my friend Alex and my friend Marisa. Shout out.
Hey. Hi guys.
Hi. I think they live in Austin and Round Rock.
Oh, okay. Nice. Have you seen them? Have you met up with them? Reached out to
not
them?
recently.
Okay.
I think I've seen them last year. I've been reaching out soon. Oh my god, it's time.
And then you went to ACC, right? And then you moved to University of North Texas.
Yeah, so I did my basics at ACC, and then I transferred to UNT, North Texas.
Nice.
I lived there like 2 years in Denton, Texas.
How was that?
I really enjoyed it. Right, it's like the first time moving out from home.
Yeah.
And it's like such a defining moment in a young adult's life. Like you realize like you realize how dirty you are, how clean you are, right? Or how spiritual you are. Like I'm the one who's responsible for taking myself to church. You know, like I have to drive that car to get me there. So yeah, it's a very defining moment. Like I said, like I developed like this hobby for country dancing. I think I also like my spirituality increased. I was able to like finally join a Bible study. Like there's a stereotype out there like Catholics don't really pick up their Bible. And that's true, right? Like I
think that's with all Christianity. Because like when I grew up in the church, they only opened the book whenever they were told by the preacher to open up the book in the sermon. So yeah, I think that's like just overall like a Christianity thing.
But I mean it more as in like, at least I've encountered Protestant friends who are better at recalling scripture, like Timothy 2:22 says this, and I'm like, oh, I can't give you the context or the scripture where it comes from exactly, but I have, so like they say that Christians are like, or I guess Protestants are better at like recalling where it comes from, and remembering the scripture, whereas Catholics don't really like pick up their Bible. And so, like, I would say that was true because I didn't really pick up my Bible prior to college, and I was able to join a Bible study and interact more with Scripture. Nice. Then, and I think I'm grateful to have made good friends through those circles, right? Like, we were already in a town that was like we were minorities of the minorities, right? Because we were like, there wasn't many Hispanics there, and there wasn't many Catholics there. So I think that's why we bonded as well, right? Like, so I was part of like a women's Bible study, and we were all like Mexican descent, and it was in Spanish, so I think we bonded even more. Like there's so few of us. Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm grateful to have found my niche. Yeah. In that way. Yeah.
And did you have to reach out to like find that group, or like, you had like a friend invite you? Like how did you get connected with that? Were you seeking it?
I guess both. So that first weekend I went to church, and they had like little flyers for you to fill out, like your name and whether you were interested or not in Bible study. So I guess me also having had gone to church that first weekend, and them also having those flyers. And it said like, are you interested in Bible study? Yes or no. Are you interested in a Spanish Bible study? Yes or no. And then what's your number? Can we contact you? And so that's how I got plugged in.
Nice.
Yeah.
I want to finish up like your college experience and like how you get into the career you are now, and then go into friendships, and then get more into your faith. We get back to that soon. So you what else were you involved with in college, and how was your college experience?
I think overall pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, I'm grateful to have made good friends that I still talk to today, and that they were in-depth friends. Like I mentioned to you, the 3 levels in friendship.
Yeah.
Like one is not that one's better than the other. They're just all distinctly different, right? So one is like a friendship of pleasure, 2 a friendship of utility, and 3 a virtuous friendship, which is of the highest, because you're able to call each other out but still do it in love, right? Like to will the good of the other. So I was grateful to have found virtuous friendships. Like that, I think it was like the time in my life where I had like the most virtuous friendships at once. Yeah, I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
Where do you get those 3 types from? Like, where do you learn it from?
I learned it from this book titled Men, Women, and the Mystery of Love by Dr. Edward Shree. I recommend it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was interesting to learn a lot about like the feminine and the masculine genius through this book, and like thoughts on friendship. Yeah, it was like someone put this book well. They said like this book is able to combine like psychology, theology, and philosophy all in one. Yeah, so it's very interesting. Yeah,
I might look into it.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's hard to describe, but yeah.
With that, how do you define friendship?
Ooh.
Like, what's your own definition of friendship?
I guess similar to how you would define love, right? Like, or perhaps sacrifice, like to will the good of the other. I think all those 3 words intertwine for me, like love, sacrifice, friendship, are all very similar.
Love, sacrifice, friendship.
To will the good of the other.
Okay. Is there anything in particular that you look for in a friendship? Is it those 3 things that you look for in a friendship?
I guess, yeah. I mean, my hope is that all my friendships become virtuous, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes I can't expect that. Like sometimes it's okay to have a friendship that's only of utility. Like your barista, he gives you coffee, you give him money, then that's okay. Like this book describes
so it's like
that.
more like a acquaintance
Yeah.
utility.
Like knowing that a friendship perhaps can only be a friendship of acquaintance of utility shouldn't limit you in friending that person. Yeah.
Okay. I guess I can answer it like with my beliefs in friendship too.
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't know. I haven't really like thought about it to like a formula. You know what I mean? I'm really good with like understanding, like seeing people for who they are, and can I have a friend in them? I guess I don't really think about it too much in detail. Trying to think of all of these days I'm keeping my circle small.
Young adult life.
So yeah, so I guess I make sure I have a lot of virtuous friendships.
Quality.
Yeah.
Not quantity, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah. Utility. I do have some friends of that sort too. Like I guess like a fun friend, like a friend that I enjoy like going out and hanging out with. I guess that can be a friend of utility.
Yeah.
In the sense.
Or perhaps pleasure, right? Like you just have fun together.
Yeah. So I have those friends as well, but I like to think that most of my friendships are virtuous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the hope.
Yeah, for sure. How do you show your friendship to somebody? How do you like, if you meet somebody new, how do you say, hey, like, I'm your friend. I'm willing to do that for you. How do you feel like you show it to other people?
Okay. Yeah. So I love this question. I think it's like making them feel seen, known, and loved is how perhaps I express my friendship towards them. Yeah, like allowing them to speak, asking them how their day was, or like following up with things they've told you. I think I'm good at remembering little details of people.
You are.
Like, someone tells me their grandma was sick a long time ago. I'm like, hey, how's your grandma doing? And it happens to me often.
Years.
I know. It happens to me often where the person says, how do you know that? Like somewhat little defensive. And I'm like, you told me. Like people sometimes forget how well I listen or how much they share. So I guess this is probably my charisma or my gift. Like I'm a good listener. And I remember small details that you probably told me once in passing that I remember. So that's how, perhaps
cool.
to answer your question, like that's how I express my friendship, through listening and making them feel seen, known, and loved through that gift. Yeah. What about you? What's your good quality?
Think mine's is similar, and also like I like to make people feel comfortable, and like sometimes I like to give gifts too. It's just like it depends on the person, because sometimes I feel like either that person is not really like into gifts or not. But for the most part, like I show that through gift giving. And sometimes my virtuous friends like, hey, like you don't need to give me anything all the time. Like just having you here is good enough.
Presence.
Yeah,
your presence.
Like just you being here is good enough. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I've been trying to like, you know, do that. Not as often, still do it, but just not as often as I used to. Just like, yeah, just being a good listener and just being, like you said, being present. Like no matter if somebody is going through a hard time, like I'm always like willing to be there. I might not exactly know what to do, but at least I'm there for like moral support. Yeah.
That's all you can do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I by showing up, that's how I show my friendship.
It kind of reminds me of that meme I showed you, the taco, 5 languages of love.
The 5 languages of love.
Like, I think it's so interesting that 5 languages of love, like.
I think that's a real thing, and more people should follow it. And it can apply to your friendships, your romantic relationships,
any
your
type
family.
of relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, acknowledge how people receive love, and acknowledge how you give love as well. That's two different things.
For sure. So the 5 love languages, if anybody not familiar, is words of affirmation, which means like words of encouragement to someone. Acts of service, which means like washing your dishes, for example.
Doing something for that person.
Something for that person. Receiving gifts or gift giving, basically. Quality time, spending time with that person and not focusing on anything else.
No agenda, schedule.
Yeah, that person only. And then physical touch, like hug, like a pat on the back. Things of that sort. So does this mean words of affirmation? Your tacos are delicious. Acts of service, I made you tacos. Receiving gifts, here's a taco.
Thank you.
Quality time, let's go out for tacos together.
Yes. Perfect date.
And physical touch, let me hold you like a taco. Which I'm still trying to figure out.
How is that possible?
Like, it's not like a bear hug. I feel like a bear hug, that's more like a burrito.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
Complete coverage, you know. I guess a taco is like, I don't know, barely touching it with your hands.
Clamp.
Yeah, like a clamp.
Let me hold you like a taco.
I don't know.
That's funny.
Do you think that friendship can be taught? Or let me back it up. Were you taught like how to be a friend, or how did you learn how to be a good friend?
Like anything, I think it can be taught. It's like a habit that can be taught. And I learned how to be a friend through the example of others, right? Like our first friends were our siblings, our first friends were our parents. Sometimes. Depends how emotionally mature they are, but that's a whole nother topic.
That's another podcast episode.
Tune in next week. Can it be taught? I think so. Like I was grateful. Like I can think of a friend who was a year older than me when I was in college, and she taught me like good friendship. Like she would pick me up and we would go to church together. And so like she taught me like how to reach out to that person. Like in that case it was me, right? Like, hey, do you want to do this? I'm like, oh, okay, sure. So she taught me that, like how to reach out to those you want to spend more time with. What else? Oh yeah, like I've had friends, I guess younger, who are really good with like follow-up texts, and I now do that. Like you spend really good quality time with that person and you do a follow-up text within 24 hours. I mean, not that there's time limit, but I try to do it within 24 hours. Like, hey, thank you for quality time. I really enjoyed you don't necessarily have to like give a summary, but like, I really enjoyed spending time with you. Thank you for sharing about your grandma or etc. I think that's also a way, good habits you can form to build good friendships. I
try to like do that because in middle school, when people would text me, I would not text back. Like it would take a minute for me to text back. People would get so offended, so they would like just call me instead, and I'll be on the phone. Like, you know, you have more time in middle school, so be on the phone like 2 or 3 hours. In high school, I was still kind of the same way. Like one of my friends, she pointed that out. She was like, "You don't be texting nobody back." I was like, "Girl, I got homework.
I'm very busy.
I got shows to watch,
chores to do."
right?" But yeah, I didn't realize like how much that's it can be like a form of quality time if you're not able to link up with somebody immediately. Texting back.
Yeah.
And
Be
giving
attentive.
a call, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah.
Are you a
responding
caller
quality?
nowadays? Are you a caller or a texter?
I'm glad that I have an iPhone and it makes it easier to send voice notes.
Okay, I use those too.
So I'm like a mixture of both. So voice memos are a
Voice.
saver, but I prefer talk on the phone.
Yeah, me too.
Text message, like I think way faster than I type.
Limit.
Yeah, and so I feel like I'll miss like the important things that I want to say, so I'd rather just say it in real time.
Yes.
And then
I
to
agree. Well, I
text
feel-
it.
I have an iPhone, and sometimes on break I pull up my computer so that I respond, because I feel limited in the texting. Texting back from my phone
device.
on a small device, and then so I just like respond to people back on my laptop during break.
Okay.
But sometimes it's difficult, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I understand that. Like it's I want to say much more than this little device is limiting me to. Yeah.
For sure. So yeah, I'm also trying to get better with responding and replying, and make sure I'm thoroughly replying, if that makes sense, like fully replying.
Answering the question.
Yeah, answering whatever question. I feel like friendship can be taught to a certain extent. Like there's some things like you can't really explain to someone, and it's also like about like putting up boundaries, setting boundaries for yourself too.
Oh, yeah.
It helps like better friendships and
Oh yeah,
all that.
I agree.
You can't force anybody to treat you how you want to be treated, and so like it's tough when like you have to like not like formally let go, but like kind of like just distance yourself from that person until they figure it out, you know.
Yeah, it's part of being friends with someone, like we talked about the 5 languages of love, acknowledging how you like or able to receive love. And so by putting boundaries, that's also a way of
receiving love and I guess teaching someone how to love you too. Yeah. Do you think that you can be a better friend than you are now?
Oh yeah.
You think so?
Oh yeah, like there's always room for growth in all aspects of my life. And I think the moment you say no, like, oh no, I'm perfect the way I am. No, like there's always room for growth. Perhaps, like you said, texting back's quicker. Like I could always work on that. What else? I recently read somewhere like how to be one person, as in like in all areas of your life, be consistent, right? And I really enjoyed that. It's like in what the article called. I felt called out, and it said like, in what ways do you lie? Like, do you lie with your body? As in, you tell someone you miss them, but you don't really make the time to see them. So I'm like, wow, that really called me out. I'm like, okay, I gotta go visit all these friends. I told them I missed them. So I guess I could also be better at that, like following up with my words and not just giving like floof responses. Yeah. Do you think you can be better, friend?
Oh yeah, I think so too. I need to not allow, which I promised myself, I always promise myself, like I don't want my work or my school to like get in between like all my solid like friendships, or like just with my life, my relationships in general, like with the dogs, with Yaz, with my friends, with my family. Because like I know how it felt like growing up with like 2 parents who have like their own businesses, and they could have done better with allowing time for all of us to, you know, spend time with each other. So I think being able to balance that. I can do better with balancing that. Okay. And being the one to initiate like a hangout.
Oh, that's good.
Even though I feel like I had spent my whole life initiating stuff, and so like now I'm like, I'm just gonna meet people where they are.
Oh, that explains why you did this podcast. Everything makes sense. Yeah, it's reaching out to people and hearing their stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a way. That's part of it. It's definitely part of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that balance is hard, huh?
It's hard. It's so hard. I'm slowly learning not to put so much pressure on my parents, but I feel like they still, can do a little bit better with allowing that time.
Dude.
But I feel like I can be better with not being afraid of reaching out.
Yeah, that's nice.
Too. Like, not worrying about, like, their response. If they say no, they say no.
Okay.
You know, that's
and be
fine.
okay with it.
And and not being sad about it.
Yeah,
just
taking it to heart.
Yeah.
I think I've gotten better, but I'm good at reaching out.
Mm-hmm.
And I struggle with that too. Like recently I was denied twice. Like, no, I'm so busy. Like they make themselves sound busy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, they probably are, but we all are. Like I hate that excuse when someone says, oh, I'm too busy. I'm like, bro, so am I.
Yes. Like people don't really allow time to make time.
Yes. I'm
like no one is ever too busy. They would figure out a way to like make it happen.
So recently it happened to me twice, like within the past 2 weeks. And I'm like, why do I feel so hurt? Like, what? Like, why? But it's like, yeah, like just learning to let go and be like, okay, it wasn't the time, maybe later.
Yeah. Or maybe they wasn't in the mood.
Yeah.
Like,
and being okay with that.
Yeah. I've learned to like put myself in their shoes to see like what is stopping them, for not wanting to, not to be selfish about it, but hang out with me. I know. Or be sad about it. But
I have
hang out with me?
the words of a friend ringing in my head. She would always say like, nunca te canses de invitar. Never get tired of inviting. Nunca te canses de invitar. So like that always rings in my head, like as in like your feelings apart, like just never stop inviting people.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good saying to go by.
Yeah. That's one of my mottos.
Liliana Rios.
Write that in my tombstone.
Yeah. Are there any friendships that you need to outgrow now? And like these next questions I'm gonna ask you, you don't have to necessarily like answer them if you don't want to, but it's more like a reflection. I've been thinking about that too. Are there any friendships that you need to show more love to? Or like
nourish more, like water more.
Water that plant.
Water that plant. I think so. Of course. Like going back to there's always room for growth.
Yeah.
One of my New Year's resolutions was to reach out more to like my moms, like my friends who are parents now or moms. So I mean, I think
why does that happen? Why does the moment a friend gets pregnant, then everybody's just like, no?
I see it.
They get shunned out. The pregnant one gets shunned out.
But I think it's both, right? Like we, the non-mom ones, shun them out, and they also shun themselves out. Like it's a two-way. Yeah, and I understand it's motherhood is difficult, especially as your first child. Everything's new, and it all becomes about your nuclear family, which it should be, but it's a hard balance. I think that you're trying to balance as a new parent.
Mom.
Yeah. I mean, young adult life is already hard balancing, and I can imagine.
Yeah.
With family. Oh yeah, our moms. So like, I was invited to a baby shower last month in Dallas, and I really didn't want to go. But then God was like, "Remember your New Year's resolution." I'm like, "Okay, you're right. I'm trying to be more pro-life this year." So there I was driving.
So there I was driving 40.
Was it 3 hours?
70 miles per hour. 3 hours.
So yeah, I was able to make time for that.
Are there any friendships that you think you outgrown?
Like I don't talk to anymore?
I guess like you don't talk to anymore, or like, I guess so. Yeah, that you don't really talk to anymore due to like, I don't know, distance or differences in like mindset.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to think of an example. Like I've had fallouts with like 2 friends, but we've been able to reconcile.
Okay.
Like this one particular friend I can think of, like we stopped talking for like a year, and she came back and apologized. So yes, I have had fallouts, but thankfully like we've been able to mend our friendship.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's cool. Now we can move on to like your faith. Do you think that religion and spirituality are different, or they're similar or the same?
Okay, yeah. I don't understand sometimes the difference. I guess this is how I see it.
Okay.
So you said spirituality and religion.
I feel like they're different.
Yeah. Okay.
They have their similarities, but I think they're more different than the same.
Yeah, they have. Okay, yes, they have similarities. I guess people just describe it this way. Like spirituality is like your own personal spiritual journey, your own prayers. Whereas religion, I think people consider it more as communal.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've been asked by like Christian friends, like, why do you go to church? I'm spiritual on my own, or I'm more spiritual than religious. I don't go to church because I'm not religious, but I am spiritual. So they connect religion to going to a physical building, and then spirituality to their own personal encounter with Christ. Do I think they're different? I think they're very similar. For me, it's hard to distinguish.
It's more similar than different.
Yes,
okay.
For me, they're much more similar because I consider myself a very spiritual and religious person. And for me, like I said, like that article I read, like I'm all that. I'm one consistent person. I try to be. But yeah, what do you think?
I think it's more different in the sense that like I feel like religion is more structured and spirituality like is more your interpretation of like what you believe in.
Okay.
And not the like I believe in God. I believe like somebody made this world, you know. I believe in one entity, but I personally don't go to church as often because like I feel like there's a lot of hypocrisy and since like people act one way and then change how they act when they're
week.
during the week and then get back all holy on Sundays, you know, or whenever they, you know, meet up to practice their faith. But I think being spiritual, it doesn't hold you so much in the box. Like it's like I said, like it's more your interpretation. As long as you have that faith and as long as you like have peace within yourself, it's fine. Yeah. But I can see how religion is helpful in the sense that like it keeps you focused on your faith. In line. It's like a good it's like a good reminder every week to keep you on your spiritual journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I see now your definition. Like I think you're seeing it more as like faith and works. You're seeing spirituality as faith and then religion as works. Yeah. Like the structure side of it.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
You consider yourself Catholic?
Yes.
How was it like? When did you officially start your spiritual journey? And like, how has that helped you maneuver through your life?
There's an expression that says, "I'm a cradle Catholic," as in like your parents or your ancestors were always Catholic, and you were just born into it. And people like, unfortunately, like anything, like you take it for granted. So yeah, like I was raised into it, born into it, cradle Catholic, baptized, did all my sacraments.
All the classes.
Sunday classes. It's called catechism, which is like Sunday class. After church, you go. Yeah, I mean, there's always good memories and like dressing all white for your first communion. I did mine in 4th grade. So that, like, it's like traditions with undercases that like bring out the beauty, right, of that faith. And I mentioned it like I was able to join Bible study and dive deeper into my faith in college, right? Like not only understand what we do, but why we do it. I think I was truly much more catechized in college.
How do you, I guess, walk through your faith on your daily life?
Yeah, I think it defines. Sense. Yeah, like it defines me. It affects the way I see. Going back to friendship, like see others, right? See God in them, because we all have God inside of us, right? Like it's that which is true, good, and beautiful. And like friends have told me, like, wow, like you're really good at seeing the good in others. I was like, wow, like maybe it's me being able to see that Christ in them. So yeah, I think it definitely affects the way I interact with others, the way I see the world. I mean, I try to pray daily and.
That was gonna be my next question. How do you practice your faith?
Oh, that's a good question, right? Like I said, like it it's easy to become a hypocrite when you only reserve prayer for Sunday. You only reserve worship for Sunday. That's when it can easily become hypocritical because you forget whose you are. Right. So yes, like I try to pray at night when I go to bed, but it's bad because I save it to the very end, right? And I sleep.
Well, you listen to.
I like podcasts a lot. So like, if you were to see my history, it's all spiritual podcasts. And here we go.
Shout out. Plug in. Good plug.
Plug in. And I just love spiritual podcasts because like they call me out, right? I think we all need that humility.
Yeah.
We all need to be called out.
Everybody is like in their own world and forget about how they treat others or how they come off to others, I guess.
Yeah.
They kind of lose themselves a little bit.
Yes. Especially it's easy, I think, to lose yourself as a young adult, right? Because you're earning money and it's all about me, my career. And I did this because I studied this or I worked hard. No, it's easy to become egocentrical. So I think, yes, definitely prayer podcasts, spiritual podcasts keep me grounded. Recently, I've been listening to the daily podcast, Bible in a Year. And I was actually listening to it on the way here. And I like it because my commute to work is half an hour. And usually the podcast doesn't go over 22 minutes. And the title says what it is. Like you go through the whole Bible in a year.
Wow. Okay.
And right now they're reading from 3 different books.
Oh. Okay.
And then he reads it, like the first half and the second half he reflects on it. It's Father Mike Schmidt gives the podcast. Nice. I'm on day 50 today. But it helps because I have a routine. Like I listen to it on the way to work. So that way it helps me, like it keeps me on schedule. Yeah. Nice. So on weekends it's kind of hard to have to remember. But thankfully I made time to come here. Yeah. So thank you. So that also helps me keep me grounded.
That's also help you absorb like different scriptures too. Nice.
Yeah, a way to keep me grounded in scripture for the year.
Yeah, I was trying to think of how I practice my faith. I pray more often than I used to, for sure. I try to pray. If not every day, I'll do like maybe 3 times out the week. If I'm really like stressed out, I'll like just have a chat with God. Not like I don't really like ask him for help per se. It's just like my way of like saying my thoughts out loud and go through like every aspect of my life right now and just seeing like how I can do better with those. And then I always ask for like protection and everything. That's what
Amen.
I did. So I have like little things that like keep me spiritual too. So my little eggs over here.
Is that in water?
Yeah, it's in water. That's how you activate it. And so like the idea is like a Chinese like spiritual thing. These are opal eggs.
Okay.
And so it's like a protection of your home and like the purity of your home. So it's supposed to capture like all the dark and negative energy and it's supposed to turn dirty. Mine don't really turn dirty. It's just the water just goes away. But it's supposed to, the idea is like it's supposed to get dirty and you pour
the negativity.
You pour the negativity out away from your home.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Opal eggs.
So I usually like just go in the grass far like over here.
What
here
if
somewhere.
it turns black when I leave?
Stop. It might be cleaner than what it was, knowing you.
It's translucent. You're like, where's the eggs?
Right. So that's one of the things, like every time I really clean my place, I like refresh the water and speak good into the water.
Okay.
Every time there's like a new moon, I'll like write down a list of goals and list of things that I want to change.
Once a month?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once a month I'll do that. And
do you have plants?
No, but I want plants. Just to clear the air. I need to get plants. I plan on like once I get my house, that's my I'm speaking into existence. I will have a house by the end of the year. I'll have a garden.
Oh,
and like I want to get back into nature and grow from my land. That's another way I practice my faith too. Like going on a walk, I like taking all the air and like look at all the trees and like all the grass and stuff. Just walk, be with nature. So spirituality, religion, and friendship, how do they overlap? Does your spirituality or your faith help you select your friends? Select people that you're like, oh, I can trust you to be my friend, or
Like, be more selective, or
I guess like
I guess no. Like, it shouldn't make me selective in choosing friends. Like, I shouldn't friend someone to see how well we're able to talk about religion, or how well I'm able to convert them. No, that's not the point. It's how well I'm able to learn from them. Right? Because we all have something to learn from someone.
For sure.
So, I guess.
For sure. Even in those, like, we may not be the biggest fan of, you learn something from them too.
There's a reason why they're the way they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's why I like to, like, in work group settings, I like to hang out in group settings, right? Because, like, I said this to my mom recently. I'm like, Mom, I have to go. I have to humanize her. Like, or him or her. Like, it helps me to see a coworker I have difficulty understanding outside of work. Like, I try to do that to be able to see different dimensions of them, because I know they're more than blank at work.
A coworker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I try to do that. I try to humanize people and see them for who they are. Yeah.
Do you see a difference between your do you have like non-religious friends, or like people that don't go to church often, or like people that are atheists or
agnostic?
Agnostic,
yeah. They don't believe.
Yeah, they don't
anything.
believe. Yeah, anything.
I can think of one atheist friend,
Okay.
and then like what? 5 Christian friends, and the rest are Catholic.
Okay. Do you see like a difference between that one atheist friend and all your religious friends? Any differences? Any similarities as well?
Perhaps more similarities.
Really?
Like, he still seeks the truth, and he reads a lot, and he knows. He used to be Pentecostal. I don't know, but he knows scripture very well, and he reads a lot. And I feel like I forget he's atheist because he knows a lot that we know. I think, yeah, we have that in similarity. Like, we seek the truth, and I mean, that's okay. I think it's just part of his journey, and I pray for his conversion. I'm like, you're the most Christian atheist I've ever met. Yeah.
Like, I have a atheist friend who's like to be atheist, like, you still have a good character.
Yes.
And
okay, yeah.
you don't like steal, or like you don't hurt.
Still live by a good moral code.
Yeah, for sure. You're still moral. Do you think there's any connection to that morality and religion?
Oh yeah. I agree too. Like, someone who's not necessarily practicing their faith, it's always interesting to see how well of a moral code they live. And it just speaks to like the human condition. Sorry, human condition. How we're all good by nature, and we seek to love and be loved. Yeah, we have that in common. Drop mic. Oh wait.
No, not this one. Not this one. $300. No. That's cool. That's all the questions that I have as far as like the main topics that we weren't, wanted to discuss. Now I just have like the 5 questions that I had that I ask everyone who comes on the show. What confuses you?
Sudoku puzzles. I don't know why I thought of that.
They hard if you don't really like know what's going on. Wait, did I put a 4 in already? Last time you laughed hard, like so hard you got a new set of abs.
I think last night we met a new friend.
Last night.
She's so funny. What was she talking about? That made me laugh. She was just sharing her adventures of adopting a new dog.
Yeah. And how she was very nervous because she never had a dog before. So she kept calling our other friend like every 5 minutes. Just because our other friend has 2 dogs and they're older. And try to get
more
some
experienced dog mom.
Yeah. Pet mom advice.
But what does she say? Oh, like just talking about the maintenance this little dog has. Like she sings to it at night.
She watched PBS shows with the dog.
That I think I laughed really hard. I was like, oh my gosh. This is like a glimpse of like the young adult parent, dog parent.
Yes. Raising.
Confessions diary. Yeah.
Yeah, she was super funny. Last time you cried, like for anything, whether it was like happy tears or like you're very hurt or sad about something. Last time you cried.
I guess I had a meltdown when it was like 2 or 3 years ago. I was taking a physics class I had to retake to reapply to the program. And it was like midway through the semester, and like it's like that moment where you have to decide to drop or not because you don't know if your grade will pull through.
Yes.
And I was in the kitchen, and then I just started crying. My mom walked by. She's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I just don't think I'll pass this." And I was just like, I sit on the floor when I'm stressed, and I was just crying. She's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Mom, it's so hard to take this class virtual." Like, shout out to all the virtual students. Mm-hmm. I did it for one class, one semester, and it killed me. Almost killed me. So I think that was the last time I had a meltdown. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But good news, I did pull through, and I got a B. But nice. It's so hard.
It took a lot.
But it was hard because I told my mom, like, it's hard because I'm a very communal person, and I work well with study buddies. And I'm like, Mom, no one wants to study with me. We all have different schedules. Like, it's like pulling teeth. Like, it's hard to form a study session because we're all virtual students. Yeah. That was very difficult.
What moment in your life would you relive?
Ooh, perhaps like childhood when we had piñatas. Like I can't remember the last time I had a piñata. Maybe for my next birthday.
Yeah.
Just being surrounded by like cousins and just hitting the piñata, getting candy.
The reward of that.
The reward.
Yeah. That's cute. And what qualities does Liliana like about Liliana?
I was looking forward to this question. Well,
let me pull out my scroll.
I like Lily's penny collection.
Oh. I still have the penny that you gave me.
Oh, really? Yay.
Where is it? I moved it, but I still have it. I promise I still have it.
I believe you.
I don't see it, but
if anyone goes out of town, give me your pennies. I collect them. No.
Give me all your pennies.
Rob your house for your pennies. I guess, jokes aside, I like how well of a friend I can be without sounding too prideful. Like, I think I'm a good friend. And I enjoy bringing friends to others. Like, I read a quote recently by Saint Therese, and it's like, she struggled with something similar. Like, wow, like, often people don't love me as much as I love them. But she says, but that's okay, because I know whose I am. So yeah, that's another one of my mottos. So like, yeah, those words ring in my head. Like, tú nunca te cansas de invitar. Like, you never get tired of inviting because you know whose you are. Like, their disapproval of you shouldn't affect you.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you know whose you are.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, thank you for coming to my podcast.
Wow. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed the conversation. I always enjoy conversation with you. I always love hanging out with you.
Likewise. It's always a pleasure to work with you.
Do you have any guests? Well, next is my guest promoting moment. Do you have anything you want to promote, like whether it's your social media of any kind or any like business that you have on the side or any quote or last words that you want to share?
I guess like wholesome accounts that I follow, I guess.
Okay.
I like this YouTuber called La Guardia Cross.
La Guardia Cross.
And I think he changed his name recently. Professional dad. I forget. But he's like a black dad who lives in Florida raising 2 little kids. And he like posts, I think, weekly. And he's so funny. Like, I really like his humor. And it's just also beautiful to see like a minority raising kids and have a presence.
Dad also.
Oh, he's not a single dad, but his wife also struggles with mental illness, and she's been like hospitalized. It's interesting.
Whoa.
I really enjoy it. It's very wholesome, and he's also Christian, and like he's not very like high key Christian on his account, but you can tell they're Christian. Like he like okay, so one of his most popular videos is like interviewing a 6-month-old, and he dubs it over with his own voices, and the child calls him like, "Give me my bottle, you manservant." Like, it's so funny. Like, you guys have to watch it, but I guess that's wholesome account. I guess recently, our other coworker Jewel, we've been watching Terrace House on Netflix. I like it because it's wholesome, spelled TERRACE, Terrace.
Okay, Terrace.
House, and I like how wholesome it is. It's taught me a lot about like Japanese culture, and it's wholesome because it's like three boys and 3 girls living in a household, and it's not like American reality where like they're under pressure to do something. No, like it's very relaxed. They're welcome to leave whenever they want and continue their daily lives as well, coming in and out of the house. It's just interesting to see these young adults interact and their conflict resolution skills as Japanese as well.
That's nice.
That's another shout out, I guess, of wholesome material out there.
It's on Netflix, right?
It's on Netflix. I'm watching, I guess, the newest season on that, which is Netflix recently bought it, so the most recent one was like season 14.
Oh, wow.
That's on it right now, at least as of right now.
Yeah.
And then I guess what else? Oh, and a book. I have it in front of me. Humans of New York by Brandon Stanton. We were talking about it, and I just love how like it does a good job of like respecting the human dignity, and like there's sad stories and there's happy stories in here, but
there's strength in that and lessons in that.
Oh yeah, and
it's very inspiring to me. Like no matter what, sad or not, like I said, it's strength in every story, and it's very inspiring me because like you can pull through whatever sad situation that you have.
It makes you realize like we're more similar than we are different. And I read this book like a year ago, and I would read it in the mornings, and sometimes it was sad, but it was like inspiring to see like, wow, like they could do it, I could do it. Yeah, it's another wholesome material out there.
Nice.
Get your book at your local bookstore or Amazon like I did.
Well, again, thank you for coming and appreciate you being here.
Thank you. This is so much fun.
Yeah. And we out.